Oh my god, the host just triple sapped me.
Do you see who's food running tonight?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we have
order.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events, is purely coincidental.
So since him showing me that video, we have been doing, like, jigsaw-like puzzles at work, and so we were in the back, and I was like, Gary. No, I was like, do you upset the dish pit guy by bringing more dishes, or do you let them sit until tomorrow? You know, like, and then he does some, and so he looked at me when he had to come, because he wasn't supposed to be there yesterday.
I know.
And the first thing I did is I looked at him and I was like, what are you doing here? And he was like, you're on track to be a senior manager. Do you come in on your only day off, or do you pass up the opportunity? You know, or like, or do you, like turn down your GM, right? And so these things have it's kept going.
I love that.
And you have to be a part of it.
He kept telling me the other day, he was like, I have to show you this video. And I'm wondering if that's the video.
It's the video. It's 100% the video. Because you have to be a part of it as well. Gary. And then he stops. Gary.
I can't wait to do that to him. Oh my god. You telling me that you have this little bit with him tonight where you can't see him. I don't know, you just don't stand out, whatever. And
no, I said, he goes, corner, I exist. And I always tell him that because he can't fucking see me anywhere that I am.
You can be walking straight towards him and he's going to run right into you.
Sight, and he's going to be like, oh my god, you're there. And I'm like, yeah, I exist. So he said that, and then he goes to wash his hands, and I'm like, sorry, you just don't stand out.
Yeah, and then being
offended.
in the dish pit with him 5 minutes later, and I just chuck some silverware into the thing directly past him, and he looks at me so offended, and I go, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there. Immediately, I start cracking up laughing because I cannot hold this face. I am fucking dying. I know exactly what I'm doing. And he ignored me for the rest of the night.
Yeah, he did it to me too. And then I needed him for a birthday dessert, and he was like looking in the other direction.
Yeah, and he kept sticking his nose up at me. Every time he saw me, he would just stick his nose up at me and walk away.
And I look at him and I go, oh, kind sir, excuse me. Oh,
please, sir, can I have some
stunning
more?
Manager of mine. Could you do this birthday comp that you requested?
No, absolutely. That was so funny. And then he kept I would be standing at the terminal and he would come by and be like, behind, sweet pea. And he would specifically name the people, the other person that I was around. Yeah. And then he went to leave and he was like, goodbye, bar manager and host. And I was standing right there as well.
Not you.
They looked at him very confused and he was like, no, I'm saying goodbye to everyone except Kat. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah. We should start though.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome back to Rolling Silverware. I'm Kat.
I'm Bunny.
This is our post-shift shit talk.
And we have a couple weeks worth of shit to talk.
Yeah, a little bit late. I mean, let's be real. Okay, so the first weekend, you were moving.
I moved. Me and my boyfriend got a place.
Fucking disgusting.
I know.
And
we're
literally,
like a little family. It's
literally
so
married. How fucking dare you? No, yeah, you were moving, and so that was a whole thing, right? It's getting you into your new place, and that was really exhausting, and there was a lot going on. There was no time to really record outside of working and moving. And then the very next week, I got so sick.
Sick as a dog. Still coming to work, and I'm like, go home.
I'm sorry.
She's dragging herself across the floor,
really
and I'm like, we don't need you. It's so we don't need you. It's gonna be so fine.
My son, my 13-year-old, was rocking 102-degree fever for 5 fucking days straight.
Yeah, for an obscene amount of time.
I literally had a doctor's appointment for him because of how worried I was at the amount of time that he was holding this fever.
Yeah, you made a doctor's appointment, then you didn't show.
Yes, I did. It was a telehealth appointment. I didn't take him to urgent care or the ER or anything. Last time I fucking took him to the ER, I love the American system. I bring him to the ER. I sit in the parking lot for 3 hours before they call me into a room. And then I sit in a room for 2 hours. Some lady walks in, goes, oh yeah, try a humidifier. And then walks out and they charge me $2,000 fucking dollars. So yes, I'm going to avoid the ER at all costs. But I was going to take him to the ER.
poor people insurance, so I don't pay for anything.
Oh, my ex pays for my fucking kids' insurance.
I'm just a poor single mom.
Okay.
Woe is me.
But I was going to avoid the ER, but I was going to take him to urgent care. But triage just said, I called triage and they were like, yeah, just this is what's happening with this flu this year.
Yeah.
And that's all he had the flu, but he was out of school for like 5-6 days.
Oh, God.
And that's over the weekend as well, like including the weekend. And then I ended up getting really sick and I dragged my fucking happy ass to work Tuesday and Wednesday. Ended up like abandoning tables. I had to leave like halfway through, not a little more than halfway through my shift, but it was definitely one of those where I was like, I have to leave right now. Like I'm not okay. And then I showed up one day in a mask. Like it was really bad and I sounded really bad and I got really shit tips because everyone was really upset.
Everybody's
that I was
like,
there.
why is this sickie taking care of me?
Which, like, okay, fair, but also, like, I don't get paid if I'm not here. I can't pay rent if I don't show up. So I don't know what the fuck you expect from me. But yeah, I got shit tips. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, I did still make more than if I had, like, put in for sick leave. So I was like, okay. And then I did call out one day. And that was like probably the worst day that I had felt. My congestion was so bad that it was just a constant sinus pressure on my face. It felt really, really bad. And then, yeah, I'm kind of like over it. I can breathe.
Mostly.
I get like 5 hours ago, I could breathe fine.
The night is setting in.
Yeah, the drink's a little bit getting there. But yeah, this is like the best that I've sounded in, all week. But yeah, it was like we couldn't really record earlier in the week because of how sick I felt. You didn't feel comfortable being in a car with me, obviously.
That's why I said, I was like, can I sit in my car? And we'll
we'll just have headphones in and we'll talk to each other.
Yeah, or we just leave the windows down. I'll hear you.
So funny. That would have been great. But no, it's 2 weeks late, but we'll be fine.
It's
honestly.
fine. Here we are.
Our 9 listeners will make it through, I'm sure.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. Sick happens, moving happens. We appreciate you being here for our lives.
I mean, this is for us, let's be honest.
That's fair.
We've been doing this now for over a year. This is just fun.
It's just a good time.
It's just fun.
Have we hit a year? I don't think we hit a year.
Absolutely.
We started in
last
May,
March.
didn't we?
No, we started last March.
Oh.
I want to say our first recordings were in March of last year, but we didn't upload until April, which it's still past April, bitch. So
It's March.
No, it's not. Fuck you.
Fucker.
It's so March.
It's past April. How sick were you?
Fucking
Do you think
delirious.
you were in a coma?
I had
You
one
didn't miss
drink,
weeks.
one shot. I'm fucking so out of it.
Weeks. Disappeared from Kat's memory.
6 months have gone.
So, work is transitioning to hot schedules.
Yes.
And
Which I love. I used Hot Schedules more. Did you know Hot Schedules is a paid app?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
a
whole thing.
No, hold on. We'll get there. But first, let me say. So, I've only used Hot Schedules one time before.
Yeah.
And I know that this is dating myself, but when I used it, it was because companies were leaving the paper schedule that we used to post on the walls 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
And we were going to online scheduling, but it was literally a fucking website. Like, phones didn't have apps yet, people. Like, I need you to understand.
It was the Razor, bitch.
We didn't have apps yet. Like, you still had to go home and log in on your computer to the website that was Hot Schedules.
Yeah.
And it fucking sucked. It sucked. If you put up a shift, it was like, it had to load for a while, and then sometimes people would pick it up and sometimes they wouldn't, and then managers couldn't approve always, after.
Interesting.
It was, I don't remember all the problems with it. I just remember everybody at work hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And we really just wish that we could go back to just print my schedule.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go home and hope that my dial-up connects to the fucking internet.
My dial-up.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that old, but it felt like that long ago. And
God, I remember printed schedules, just having to go in.
Yeah, we go in
check
and then
in the back to see.
Yeah, you check in
when's
the back.
My next, yeah, I
on the day that you're
that.
working, you're like, when's my next shift?
Yeah.
And then you come in on that day and you go, when's my next shift?
Yeah,
and then we
remember
got camera phones, and so it was like, oh, I can take a picture.
A picture.
I can take a little picture of this. And so you would. And then that was cool. And sometimes, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I heard about Hot Schedules, I was like, I don't know if I'm happy about this. But literally 100% of the rest of the crew is excited about Hot Schedules. So I'm like, okay, it's better now. It's upgraded. It's an app.
I've always loved Hot Schedules, yeah. I was really upset when I first started at the restaurant that it wasn't Hot Schedules because I was so used to it.
Oh,
and
hey,
then,
I hadn't used it in years.
I mean,
years.
I got kind of used to the scheduling app that we were using.
I think I've never had a
but-
single issue with it. So they're like, we're changing it. And I go, why? What are you talking about?
Why are you doing this to me? No,
It's
but
working great on my end. Things are getting approved. Things are going through. I can see my paychecks. It's all great.
But
It's all condensed right there.
something I do really love about Hot Schedules is when somebody picks up your shift, say you give it up, right? And you offer it, you give up the shift. When somebody picks it up, it doesn't take it away from everybody else. So you are going to have that, like, managers will be able to see who has, if 3 or 4 people have tried to pick up your shift, they'll be able to see,
Yeah, so it's like a bid.
Yeah, so you're essentially, it's either first come, first serve, or I don't want that person picking up shifts, or that shift
Right.
isn't appropriate for that person to pick up. Say it's like a, lead server shift.
Sure.
That person can't pick up that shift, so I'll give it to the next person that can, whatever, da-da-da. So it doesn't just take your shift off from
Right.
everybody
It
else.
doesn't disappear for that person who, in fact, can't work 7 days in a row.
Shocking. I don't know why you would even try, but
They
yeah.
do.
So it's definitely, that is something that I do like about Hot Schedules. I feel like Hot Schedules is very intuitive. When
Yeah, I
you
hear
look
that
at
the
it.
interfacing is just easier to use and it's better. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
When you open the app. So I just had to re-download the app. I didn't have to pay the $2.99 for it.
Well, I never had the app, so I immediately say, because they give us the paperwork, right? And it's like, go to hotschedules.com. And the first thing I say is, can I just open the app? Like, to which server manager tells me, yeah, you can get the app, but it's $2.99. And I go, oh. And he goes, and they're not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
I said, what? He goes, yeah, I'm a little upset that I have to have this app on my phone because the app interface is obviously just easier than going online, right? Like things just run better on the app, right? Like it's a smoother interface. And I get that. And I understand why it would be. And so he's like, yeah, but they're not going to pay for it. And I go, oh, okay. So our multi-million-dollar fucking company
that wants to brag about how well they're doing.
Yeah, that wants to brag constantly about how well they're doing and how, oh, look, we can open new stores and we can do this and we can upgrade and we can do that. But, ooh, $2.99 per person? Take it out of my fucking check, bitch. What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean you're not going to pay for it? You didn't give me a little code, like a little discount code that just, like, takes care of it?
Did he tell you why?
No, I paid for the $2.99 immediately. I was like, it goes onto my fucking Google account and it goes from there and it's a monthly, but it's not a monthly charge for the app. It's just one time. So I was like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm never going to miss that $2.99. I'm okay.
No.
Like, I'll be okay. But he was very upset about it because he's like, no, you're forcing me to use it.
Yeah. So apparently
Let me get my
corporates,
safety tissue out.
corporates' justification for that was because there is still a website that you can use. You don't have to use the app.
Right,
So
you don't
they're
have to go on the
refusing.
app.
Yeah, they're refusing to pay for the app for the employees, which is like, okay, whatever, fine. Like I said, I had to re-download it. So I never, apparently I paid for it at some point or I downloaded it while it was still a free app. I'm not sure, but I have had that for so long. Like I came from Yard House who was using Hot Schedules. And when I worked for Cheesecake Factory, they were using Hot Schedules.
Okay.
So over the course of the last 8 years, I've used it.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if maybe I had just like got grandfathered
Yeah, I was going to say,
in,
it sounds like you got
or if I had paid at one point, but it was so long ago that I just don't remember at this point. I'm not going to remember $2.99 that I spent 8 fucking years ago.
Or if it was even $1, like 99 cents 8 years ago. You know, either way, you have have ownership of the app.
I have it. I re-downloaded it. I put in the information, my company information, all this, blah, blah, blah. So I got the schedule posted fine. It was whatever. I was, a little upset about the availability information, which we talked about earlier today, but because we've talked about my availability on the podcast before, when we were doing Wednesday to Tuesday, I was either fully available at the front half of the week or fully available at the back half of the week.
Right.
But
which made it so that you were available the appropriate number of days per week.
Yes.
For our company standard.
Yeah, our company standard is 7 shifts per week. I have to be available. And now that we're moving to a Monday to Sunday availability, that would put me at only being available for 4 shifts every other week, which is out of company standard.
Right.
And I did get denied.
Right.
But Fabulous Manager talked to me about that today, and apparently he just like not auto denied a bunch of people, But a bunch of people put in availability that was not the same availability.
Yeah,
that they
which he
had.
knew was going to happen. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, it has to be the same availability that you had before, which is what you were trying to do.
Yes,
And
but
it got
oddly,
denied.
Yes, but he ended up just kind of going through and just being like, no, because I guess a couple of people, especially at the host stand, were trying to be like, oh, well, I'm only available 3 shifts, and he was like, fuck, no, you're not.
No, you're
Like,
not.
Don't
That's
give me
not
this
how
bullshit.
this works.
Yeah, so he just kind of like went through and just like kind of denied a bunch of people that were against company standard.
Right.
But then he did tell me, he was like, anything that you need, obviously, like, you've been with the company for a really long time. This is your availability. If this is what it is, it's fine. Just resubmit it. And I, honestly, I'm just going to kind of stay with the new availability that I had come up with.
I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were, like, supposedly possibly going to look at you and be like, yeah, that availability you've had this entire time because we're switching our scheduling from Wednesday to Tuesday and now it's Monday to Sunday. Oh, not good enough. Fuck you, it's not good enough. Like, no, I've worked for this company for 3.5 years, you know,
Yeah.
for you, right? It's like, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
You can't look at me
I
and be
didn't
like,
all
oh,
of a
it's
sudden
not good enough. Yeah, I'm not no longer a good employee just
Yeah.
because you changed 2 days of the week.
I also didn't stop being a mom and have
Right,
like a
yeah.
custody because of whatever
Yeah,
the fuck you guys are doing with your
Oh,
scheduling
you guys
app.
decided to change to a new scheduling app, so, let me upend my whole fucking life. Like, no, that's not how this works.
No, my kid now being 13, I can work some more night shifts,
Right.
and we are moving into summer, which means that he'll, it's not like has school or whatever
Right.
as it stands. So I did change my availability to just night shifts, except Monday, Tuesday. I'm off Monday, Tuesday now, which you're
Perfect.
also
Also
off Monday,
Tuesday.
I copied
Kinda
your
loving that.
availability. Yeah.
Perfect.
I 100% just copied your availability and said like, oh yeah, so I'm just gonna like not be available Mondays and Tuesdays, and so that means that you and I can just kind of do whatever we want to do. But it also means that I will never again be scheduled 8 to 9 days in a row.
Right, for those off weeks where they link up and then you're just stuck with all these shifts.
Exactly. So when I was available only at the very late end of the week, the back end of the week, and then the very next week I was only available at the front end of the week. He was like, I don't know what it is about Fabulous Manager, but he really wants to make sure that his lead servers are scheduled 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need that.
You're
I
like,
thank
oh,
you,
because
but I
that puts
don't
me
need
at
that.
7 or 8 in a row.
Exactly.
And I'm good
It
not doing that.
constantly puts me at 8 to 9 in a row. And so now with this new availability, that means that will never happen to me.
Right,
It
which
also,
is good.
yeah, it also means that I'll possibly, because I do know that he likes to copy and paste as much as he can, right? So the people that he knows, like, these are their availabilities. They're always going to have Thursday night hammer. They're always going
Right.
to have, Friday night lounge, whatever, blah, blah. So I know that he does, copy and paste as much as he like can just to make it easy on himself. I feel like this means that if I have a set availability that's always the same every single week, I'm just gonna have a set schedule. Like it's
Kind of.
not gonna move around
Yeah,
all
mine
that
moves
much.
a little bit, but like by an hour here or there.
Mhm.
But I do know consistently I'm working Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And if a day off happens in there, it's usually because I asked for it off.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of asking for days off, though,
oh yeah, that's right. You had a
So
bit of an issue.
I had asked for my mother's birthday off. Hi, Mom. And it got
Shout out, Mom, always.
approved on our old scheduling app. Approved. I even went in and screenshotted the approval because I wanted to prove it if I had to. Like I was ready with receipts. I was
Yeah.
like, no. So then we get the new scheduling app, and this is the message that is sent out. I pulled it up so that I could read it. It says, lastly, for anyone who has already had approved times off, be sure to resubmit them in hot schedules, as this time has not been transferred over. Any requests off or availability changes submitted in the previous app for after April 1st, which my mother's birthday is after April 1st, are obsolete and will not be honored.
That I didn't know it said that.
It says-
I read it differently.
For after April 1st are obsolete and will not be honored. They must be submitted or resubmitted in hot schedules. You want to know why I couldn't do that? Because he scheduled me that week of my mother's birthday on her birthday already in hot
Yeah.
schedules. So I was like, that's not how life works. Like, you don't get to look at me and be like, hey, that day you want off? Yeah, that's yours. Oh, sorry, we're moving to a new app. It's no longer.
Now you're scheduled. Yeah.
So as soon as I got in today, the first thing I said is, oh, by the way, a word? Like,
Talk with me.
yeah,
walk with
me this way. And
My office, please. And you walk into his office.
I just walk over to the terminal. I'm not even clocked in yet. And I'm just like, a word as I clock in. And I was like, yeah, so this day that I got approved for, the first week of April approved, and I obviously have plans to not be anywhere near this fucking building, and now you scheduled me. He's like, well, that's a mistake. I will absolutely fix that. Don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, this isn't a fight? I came with receipts. I am so ready for this to be a fight so that I can look at you and go, nah, dog, that's not how this shit works.
He was never going to fight with you on that. He's so...
Well, and I didn't know the way that message was phrased very much reads, too fucking bad. That's how that message reads, and so that's why I was like, no, too fucking bad for you. I won't be there. I'm going with my mom. We're going to have a fantastic day for her, and either you get my shift covered, or you won't have a fucking closer that day. Sorry.
I mean, yes and no.
Sucks
You
to
got to
suck.
think that message was sent out to everybody, not
I do
just
understand
us,
that.
right?
I do understand that.
It very much was sent to the people that's like, well, too fucking bad. Whereas
in
his
my
lead
opinion,
servers and
right,
his
but in my
people,
opinion, it's like you couldn't look at the old app for 1 second and be like, oh, who has already requested time off that we have approved?
Well, apparently the
and
general
copy that
manager
over.
like moved a bunch of stuff over, and
Right.
she...
Which I understand. There's complications. Nothing's perfect. I get it. But yeah, I came in so hot today.
I love that for
Just
you.
Burning.
I've never been riled.
I'm not riled. I don't get riled. So we'll see how Hot Schedules goes. Apparently it's going to be fantastic, so.
I love it. I'm excited. Something that has happened in the last couple of weeks, though, but while we have not been recording, is Lent started.
Yes.
And we work at a fish place, right? This is a place that exclusively, I mean, we have a couple of other things, but not
we have
much.
a few meat dishes, but not really.
Yeah, like our menu includes a lot of fish.
Yeah.
And something during Lent is, Christians don't eat meat on Fridays.
On Fridays.
So we've been very busy.
Yeah, we
on
call
Fridays.
it Fish Fridays. So from Ash Wednesday to Easter, every Friday is pretty much a popping day.
Yeah.
And it has been. The two night Fridays that I worked that you didn't get to work.
No, I worked at the day shifts.
Sure.
And I hated them. Oh my God.
Well, and they were absolutely popping at night.
Yeah,
like,
they're-
holy shit.
They're popping during the day, but oh my God, people are fucking weird.
Yeah, well, it's all the crazy religious people. No offense, crazy religious people.
No, fair. I've had, the first Fish Friday I worked, I had so many issues. I want to say my first, 2 tables, they got the clam chowder.
Oh, yeah, you can't have that.
Yeah, and then it sits down and they're eating it and they're like, I'm so sorry, is there bacon in this? And I was like, oh, fuck, yes. Do we celebrate No Meat Fridays? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I'm so sorry. So then I start asking tables, with they order the clam chowder, are we doing Fish Fridays? There is, bacon in our clam chowder, just to let people know.
Sure.
And I asked this one table, I say, hey, by the way, the guy orders, clam chowder, and it's a family of 3, mom, dad, and a daughter. And the dad orders a clam chowder. So I go, oh, do we celebrate No Meat Fridays for Lent? There's bacon in the clam chowder. And he looks at me and he goes, no, I'm celebrating the passing of my son.
Wow.
Ma'am, I'm a stranger. What
Excuse
the fuck?
me.
Now he's crying. Now
Ugh.
I'm crying.
You're joking.
I'm crying at the table.
Of course.
Because this poor man is telling me about his son and how his son had passed and they're here and it was his favorite restaurant and this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Stop it.
And then at the end of their meal, I go to a manager and I was like, they didn't get dessert, but can we take care of a round of drinks or what can we do
fucking
for them?
anything, please.
Right. And the manager, of course, takes care of a round of drinks for them. Perfect. So then I go to the table and I'm telling them, hey, folks, I just wanted to let you know, thank you so much for coming in and, hanging out with me today. And I'm so sorry about your son. We did take care of your first round of drinks for you today. I'm glad that you guys are here. And I'm just rambling through, right? What I'm supposed to be saying. And I'm starting to cry again. I'm tearing up.
Ugh.
And the guy starts tearing up and he goes, thank you so much. And he reaches out and grabs my arm and I'm grabbing his arm. And we're just having this moment together while I have a full fucking section of other tables. And
Who are celebrating Fish Friday.
who absolutely are just here for a fucking day, right? They're just I'm just here for lunch. What the fuck is happening over there? And I have to walk away from my section because I'm literally crying. This poor man. I was just like, oh my God. And then not 15 minutes later, I go to this other table and I tell them, oh, do we celebrate No Meat Fridays? There's bacon in our clam chowder because, the 2 guys ordered a clam chowder.
Sure.
And the guy was so upset with me. He was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, we've only ever come here for the clam chowder. We love your clam chowder. We've come here so often. We're Catholic. We never eat meat on Fridays. And we've ordered it so many times. Nobody else has ever told us that there's bacon in this. First of all, what?
Yeah,
Second of all,
how? Because that's a very common thing that's spoken
Right.
around the restaurant over the years. You've never been told that?
Never been told that, but apparently they're regulars. They come in all the time. They never eat meat on Fridays because they're Catholic, and no one's ever told them that before. And
Also,
now I've
bacon doesn't taste like a clam, so you do know.
I've
You know.
ruined it for them because I told them this secret information apparently, and I'm just like, wow, fucking Fridays suck. I never want to work
I
another
hate
Friday
Fish Fridays.
during Lent. This is awful. All of you people are fucking weird. What is wrong with you? But then, the worst thing that has ever happened to me, and it has nothing to do with fish or meat or Fridays at all. It's just this weird fucking people that come in and they recognize me because I'd taken care of them before. And they were like, oh my God, it's you. Hi, thank you, miss. Da, da, da. She's so nice. They're so kind. It's a mom and a daughter, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but they come in at least they've sat with me 2 or 3 times, and they recognized me, but they tip like absolute fucking garbage.
Sure.
Fine, whatever. You're nice. And you don't get much. It's not like you're stiffing me on fucking like a $300 bill.
Sure.
They're doing like $50 worth of food, right?
Perfect.
So it's like, and they give me $5. It's like, okay, whatever. But she looks at me. She goes, I want a Caesar salad. And I say, okay, great. And she goes, but I want it like warm.
What?
What? And I said,
No, you don't.
and I said, like, do you want us to stir fry it?
What?
Like, do you want us to pan sear it? Like, what do you mean?
About?
And
She you want me to microwave it? You
That's what
didn't
she
jump
said.
to the microwave?
No, I don't want them to know we have a microwave. But she goes,
Every restaurant has a microwave.
and she goes, no, if you could just like microwave it for a little bit, and that'd be fine too. And I was just like, okay. And so
Why? You want gross ass fucking microwaved lettuce? You goddamn whore.
Anchovy. Ugh. I'm disgusted, but I put it into the kitchen. Caesar salad.
Nobody
hot,
made that. Nobody made that.
warm. I don't know. Please help me.
Please, I don't know.
Which I know corporate sees some modifications, and I hope, just for whatever reason, they were auditing that.
I hope
day.
they audit that check specifically.
And they
Stop
go-
it. What do you mean, how warm? What
I
are you
don't know,
talking-
but
you just want your lettuce to bite back? What the fuck are you talking about?
wilted lettuce, warm anchovy. Ugh. Anyways, I go into the back and I tell whoever's on the line. I don't even remember who it was. I tell whoever's on the line, this is what they want. And they go, what, like in the pan? And I was like, no, like in the just put it under the heat lamps for a little bit. Honestly, it's fine. And they go, okay. So they take it once it's finished, because it's finished before her mom got like a fish or something like that, right? So
Sure.
it was going to take a little bit longer to cook. So once the Caesar salad was done and the fish was still working, they start to put it under the heat lamps. The entire kitchen goes, hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing? That's a cold plate.
Every single one of them kept trying to take it off from under the heat lamp.
They're like, hey, you idiot. That's not where this goes.
Nobody understood. And then they were like, no, they want it hot. Like, whoever's on the line is like, no, they want it hot. Every single one was like, what are you on about? No, they don't.
Stop it.
Nobody
Are they
wants
on
that.
acid? What is happening?
Nobody wants that. And so I bring it out. It's hot. And she starts eating it, and she goes, oh my God, this is perfect. Thank you. I just tucked into her little booth, like, thank you so much. This is exactly what I wanted. And everybody's just staring at her. You could see all the people
I'm coming
from the
out to
kitchen.
watch her eat it. Are you joking? What the? Go ahead, take a bite. I dare you, take a bite.
You know,
You know how lettuce gets if you just let it sit with dressing on it too long?
Gross.
That's what you want? You want the potluck salad that sat out for 6 hours? That's what you want?
Yes, that's what she wanted. And then it was like
I
a
can't.
sitcom where you could just see all the guys in the kitchen staring out one of the little windows, just looking at her like, who is this person? What are they eating?
Psycho.
Yeah, absolutely wild. I've never experienced that in my life. Somebody to ask for a
She's
hot
killed
salad.
people. She has bodies in her backyard. What are you talking about?
100% wild.
Oh, no, never. 100% never. Ever, ever, ever. Nope. I have been asked for soup to be either extra, extra hot or not as hot. Like, I've had people be like, hey, can you, like, throw an ice cube in the soup, it's for my kid, or
That kind of tracks, though, because you don't want it to be burning hot
Right,
when you
yeah,
eat it.
that
Or you
makes
want it to be
sense.
burning hot when you eat it. Like,
Sure.
you're going to have those,
Yeah, or can I get, lukewarm water? Like, yeah, okay, I've done that where I've put a little hot water in the glass and a little bit of the water
Yes.
from the thing, because our water comes out a little cold, right?
And that's also
So-
just, what they say, like a lot of Eastern
Yeah.
medicine says, like, don't drink
Ice
cold water.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's bad for your body. So.
Sure. So I've gotten that, but a salad.
Hot salad.
Hot.
Hot salad. How do you feel about that?
I
How's
want-
that settling in your stomach
It's
at
not.
the moment?
It's not settling at all. It's coming right the fuck back up. What are you talking? Oh, that's fucking
hot
insane.
Caesar, no less.
That's insane. There's egg in there too. No, I've never gotten that. That's absurd.
Yeah, that's that's how my fish Fridays have been going so far.
Well, other than yesterday, I've had some fantastic fish Fridays. Like,
I
we
love
are
that for you.
absolutely popping. There's a line out the door.
Yeah.
Tables are coming. Everybody wants their fish. It's great. I'm making money. People are happy. It's fantastic. Just last night, wasn't getting the people that really wanted to give back. And that's fine. Like, it happens some shifts,
Yeah.
But it was like so Thursday was bug night, so we kept everybody on.
Yeah.
I was the closer, but we kept everybody on because everybody has to help with bug night, help wrap everything up. So it doesn't really make sense to cut them and then be like, okay, you don't get any more tables, but you really do have to stay like an extra 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. So Thursday I didn't really make much money, and then Friday it just yesterday wasn't as poppin' as the first two Fish Fridays were.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was fucking busy yesterday. I want to say yesterday was probably the busiest I had been all week.
Well, and
which-
so we swapped spots from yesterday to today.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes a difference if you get there a little earlier and you get that first round and then you keep, kind of getting it. Whereas if you come at that 5:30 time slot, there's
Yeah.
kind of that lull in there before the 6 o'clock people come. And
Well,
you
I want
don't
to
always,
say that 4 o'clock. I mean, the lounge shift in and of itself, you got more tables than I did, Miss
Yes.
Miam,
Yes,
getting
I did.
back 31. Good
I
for
did.
you.
I didn't even ask for it.
I
It was
know.
just like, hey, I gave that to you. And I was like, dope.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I didn't
Paid
get
out.
I didn't get that. However, having an entire section of 6 top booths.
Yeah.
Like yesterday that happened to me, and I feel like it was happening to you a lot tonight too, where you're getting a lot of 5 top, 6 top, 6 top. You're getting a lot of those, like, quote unquote larger parties just sitting at booths. So if you have 4 6 tops, that's gonna pay out better than what I had tonight, which was a 4 top, a 6 top, a couple of fucking random like half banquet, tables, whatever.
2 tops, 3 tops,
yeah,
whatever.
and then you know what I mean, where you have like a kind of a mixture of random booths,
Yeah.
all different sizes, as well as a couple of like half banquets where like half of the table's a booth and the other table is like a chair.
Right.
So like that section, I want to say isn't great unless it's super slow all the way up until like 7:30.
Right.
Because if
then
it
the
hits,
first person gets cut. And
Exactly.
then you end up with a full section in yours and theirs.
yeah,
And
if
then
it's
like, whoa.
super dead by 6, they're gonna be like, hey, fucking cut the lounge, bring lounge 2 in.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you have all those fucking 5 tops and 6 tops. And if you get that rush, then you're like, fuck yeah, I'm making bank.
Yeah.
Or if there's large parties that are set in lounge 2.
Right.
And then you
get all of it.
Yeah. And then you get your 7 tops and your 8 tops and
Yeah.
your 7 tops. But if that's not the case, then lounge 2, I definitely do think like suffers a little bit more.
Yeah.
You don't make quite as much money.
No. And like you said, if the lounge isn't cut early enough, then
Yeah.
it's just another section, No, tonight was really good for me. Like, we were busy tonight, or I was anyways.
I felt like I was busy, but not overwhelmed. And I was definitely just vibing tonight. Like, oh my God, I came
Oh
in
yeah, I got along
tonight.
with every single one of my tables. I was joking with everybody. Like, I had people it's just good when people are happy to be there, Like, I'll never understand the tables that come in and they're just pissed off. And it's like, I didn't ask you to be here. Like, I don't know why you're mad at me. I'm literally just doing my job. But then when people do want to chat it up, or they're like, hey, what is your name? And like they really want to know, or how's it going, this and that. So yeah, it was a good vibe across the restaurant tonight. I think everybody kind of was in a really good mood.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I don't know about obviously not everybody else, but for me personally, this was the first night that I came into work where I wasn't feeling sick.
Right.
I wasn't highly medicated before coming into work to make sure that I could make it through a shift, right?
Yeah, looked banging, by the way.
Yeah, like I was able to keep my hands above my head for longer than 30 seconds, so I could like actually do my fucking hair. I put in some extensions, like, you know what I mean? Like, I look fucking great. I did my makeup great. I came in excited to be at work for the first time all week.
Sure.
So, you know, I had been just kind of like pulling myself into work multiple times this week. So for today, it definitely just felt great to be there. And I think that my guests were kind of like feeling that vibe with me as well. So I'm in a good mood. My guests are automatically in a good mood. And I'm joking around with them and I'm having a great time. And I just had a great time with all my guests tonight. And it was great. I loved it. I had a fantastic time. I didn't make, you know, stupid amounts of money. I didn't walk with $500-$600.
No, neither did I. But it was just overall a good night.
It was a great night. I had such a fun night tonight.
So something happened tonight.
I'm so excited.
Transitioning right into this. So I'm standing and I'm doing the sauces, right? It was our collective side work tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
doing the condiments, yes.
Yeah, I'm doing the condiments, the soy sauces. And I'm standing there with Sweet Pea. And, you know, she's doing her version of side work. And Giggles McGee was our food runner tonight.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, so he's been told by the manager and by our new kitchen supervisor that he has to clean out the expo fridge. To which he says, no, that's not my job.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, no, it is your job. And so the new kitchen supervisor was like, it started with, do you clean this? Mm-hmm. Like, is this something that you clean? And he goes, well, I do it on the weekends, but during the week, it's the hammers, the closer's job. And I said, what?
Never.
Now I'm involved because I'm a closer, even though I wasn't closing
a lot
tonight.
Of the times during the week, you're a closer.
And so I go, what was that? And so he has to pull out these like racks that we have in the bottom, and the fridge leaks, and it hasn't been working perfectly for forever. And we've fought about this.
About as long as I've been there, yeah.
We've fought about this before. And so he, you know, pulls the racks out of the bottom and pulls all the sauces out, and then pulls the racks out of the bottom, and there's water down there, right? Which happens because they refuse to fucking fix this goddamn fridge.
Why would they?
And so...
We're just a restaurant.
Right. And so new bar manager is there. And he's like, oh, yeah, during the week, isn't it your job? Now he's talking to me. And I was like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you're supposed to keep it clean. And I go, I keep it clean as far as like the things that go in it. And I make sure everything's up to date. And I make sure that it looks good. But I don't get down on my hands and knees and scrub out that fridge every other day of the week. Do you think that I do that? Because that's not in our side work book over there. Nothing in that book over there tells me I have to do that.
Right.
And so I told him, I go, yeah, the one time that I was asked to do it was when it was still leaking water.
Actively, yeah.
Actively leaking water, and there was just this massive puddle of stagnant water at the bottom. To which I was told by the EKM, well, the fridge isn't broken. And I was like, the fuck you mean it's not broken? And so and it was a whole, like, I stood right there and I was like, that's broken, dog. Like, that's leaking.
Yeah.
There's stagnant water in there. And he was like, no, I mean, it still works. And, you know, I was like, yeah, well, fix it and I'll keep it clean. You want me to keep the walls of it clean in case some sauce get on it? Yeah, I'll do that. I do it in my fridge at home, too. But my fridge at home also doesn't have fucking stagnant water sitting in the bottom of it, getting moldy and gross. Like, no, it's not. No, it's broken. That's broken.
That's broken.
If something isn't working the way it should, it's broken. Like, I don't know another way to fucking phrase this for you. But yeah, so I had this like kind of argument with him that day when I was asked to clean it. So I did clean it because I was asked to. And then I said, yeah, if you fix it, I'll keep it clean. Absolutely, I will keep it clean. So their solution was they like half fixed it because for a while it wasn't even cold. Remember? So we couldn't keep anything in it. This is after me being asked to clean it. It then just stopped being cold. Yeah. And I was like, dope.
It's not broken, though.
It's not broken. It's just working less.
It just doesn't work. It's not broken.
Sometimes. Yeah, it just doesn't work all the time when we need it to. So we weren't able to keep any sauces in there for a while. Mm-hmm. And then it got fixed enough, so now it only leaks a little bit.
Perfect.
So we keep like a 6-pan in there to catch the little drips because collectively over a week you get like 1 6-pan worth of water, I guess. Whereas before it was like everywhere. Every night it's overflowing with water. So yeah, it was just this whole like, sanitary. I don't have to clean it. You have to clean it. And I was like, don't don't fucking look at me right now. Like, I don't have to clean that. See that sidework binder that's right there? I follow everything in that binder.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't printed it out and fucking laminated it for me, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And so that's where the conversation ended tonight, was I just looked at bar manager and I was like, yeah, you fix it, I'll clean it. Fix it. And then he's like, everything in this place is broken. And I go, yeah, great. and then I walked away. But that was just, it was such a point of content for me, like, forever ago.
Yeah, I remember our testing
Yeah.
for the podcast. You went on a huge rant.
I had this huge, perfectly phrased, perfectly thought out rant about the fucking fridge.
Yeah, it was one of I think we used it as a...
I think we used it as a TikTok sound.
We did. We used it as, like, oh, coming soon, our podcast,
Right.
blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
But
or,
that's what
hey,
it-
listen to our new podcast, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was definitely in that sound for a lot of... But
Yeah.
that was when we were still using, like, our faces and names and
Yeah,
shit.
that's it. That was pre-learning what the fuck we were doing. So speaking of, you were talking about your warm Caesar, and things that have never happened before in your serving career. So last week I had a table at the big round table, right? So it's a party at 8, and it's birthday, and it's this girl. It says girl's 26th birthday, right, or 28th birthday, something like that. And so they get cocktails and they're having a good time, and they've put a cake in the fridge, and I was like, fantastic. So I go to get the cake out of the fridge.
Is it her family or her friends?
It's her family.
Okay.
And so, like, mom's there, dad's there, uncle's there, whoever, sister or brother are there. And everybody's of age to drink, and everybody's having a good time. And then I go to get the cake. And she's there with her boyfriend, too. And
Cute.
so I go to get the cake, and I bring it out. And, you know, I gather it from the fridge, and I set it out. And then we put it on a nice plate, and we bring out forks and knives and
Yeah, of course.
light candles and all that jazz. And so I set it down, and I go and I get the nice plate because I'm hoping that it fits. Sometimes the cakes don't fit on our nice little plate. And so I open the box, and the cake is split and falling apart.
Shut the fuck up.
It's this, I don't know if you've seen them on TikTok or whatever, but it's the, like, heart cake with all the piping detailing around it, and then, like, the pretty, like, drop icing all the way around. And so halfway through her name, it is ripped and it has slid off to the side. So it's a
How is that even possible?
It's a 2-layer cake, so it doesn't have any dowels because it's only 2 layers, and you shouldn't need them for that. Like, it's
Right.
not a super massive cake, and it's not very heavy either. And so I look around.
What? Split? How did that happen?
All I'm thinking is, what the fuck? Like, I don't.
How do you fix
I
that?
don't
Yeah.
manhandle these things, you know. Like, I'm very careful with these cakes. I make cakes myself, so
Yeah.
I'm very aware of how to handle a cake from a fridge to a fucking tray, and then figure it out from there. And so I'm just devastated. I was like, I don't even know. And so I'm showing the people around me. I'm like, guys, I just pulled it out of the fridge like this. Like, I didn't do this, was really what I was getting at. Like, please, I did not fuck this up. It came out of the fridge like this. Like, I don't jostle the box around. And even if I had, a cake should not fall apart like that.
No,
like, but
not
also
like
I didn't.
that.
I swear to God, I didn't. And so one of our other closers was there, and so she walks by, and I said, what do I do? And she goes, well, who's here? Like, whose cake is it? And so I tell her, it's my party over there. She's like, who brought the cake? And I said, Mom brought the cake. And she goes, well, let's go get Mom. And I said, okay, you go do that. And so she did. And so she went and she grabbed Mom. She goes, hey, we just got to talk to you. Like, can you just come with me real quick? Oh, hi. And she just, like, went over, and I saw her, like, kind of like, hey, could you just come over here? So on the way to the kitchen, she explained to her what had happened. And so the woman gets there, and she goes, oh my gosh, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, oh, how unfortunate. And she's like, it's fine. Like, let's just stick candles in it anyways. And I was like, I can push it back together if you want. And I was like, when did you get the cake? Like, when did you get it? And she's like, well, I got it this afternoon, and then I left it out on my counter until we came to dinner.
But still, it shouldn't. It's a full cake. Why? It's not like an
Right.
ice cream cake or anything.
It's not an ice cream cake. And I looked at her and I said, is this whipped cream frosting? And she says, yes, it is. And I went, ma'am. And she's like, should I have put it in the fridge from the bakery? I go, yeah, probably. Like, I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But the cake inside is chocolate cake, which is very moist, and it doesn't hold together very well. And so, yeah, if your frosting is splitting at all or not kept cold, the frosting's melting. And so the cake isn't strong enough to hold itself. Like I said, there's no dowels.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, just push it back together as best as you can and bring out a candle. It's totally fine. And I go, okay, great.
Oh, that's
So
devastating.
I get
though.
gloves and I'm pushing it back together, to which, you know, our other closer is sticking. We decided on chopsticks.
Mm-hmm.
So we're pushing chopsticks into the cake
Smart.
at like these odd angles. There's 4 of them. And so I bring it out with candles and I go, so here's your cake that I definitely didn't destroy. And everybody at the table laughs. Obviously, the girl has been informed that her cake has fallen apart.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, it's such a beautiful cake. Though, Mom, oh my God, you got such a pretty cake. Like, nobody is upset. Nobody is crying. It's not that big of a deal. It's just cake. It still tastes the same, you know? And then I go to light. I said, do you have a lighter? And she's like, yeah, I brought a lighter and everything. To which younger brother, who's like just barely 21 or whatever, because there's, you know, fucking chopsticks sticking out of it. I didn't break them down to cake size. I just left them sticking out. And I was like, oh, by the way, there's 4 chopsticks in there. Watch out. You know, like, be careful for those. And so little brother goes like, oh, light the chopsticks on fire. And I go, now. I am not responsible for anything that may happen at this table from the moment I leave.
Yes.
Here's your cake. I'm not liable.
Yep. Here's
Goodbye.
a cake and a lighter.
Also,
Goodbye.
no, and it's not even my lighter. It's your lighter.
Yeah,
so
fine.
whatever you do after I leave this place, here you go. But no, they were very nice, and they tipped me very well, and the mom did apologize again, and I brought the box back out, and I was like, here, if you want to take home what's left, haha, you know, like, and that's fine. But I've never once had that happen before. Like, not ever.
Oh, I'd
like,
be devastated.
It was such a pretty cake. It was a chocolate cake with white fucking whipped cream frosting, and it looked fantastic. It had her name written on it in black and gold, and it was just like this. It was one of those like really popular heart cakes right now that like everybody's fucking making, and I bet her mom paid a decent amount for it. Like, those cakes aren't cheap. And I was just, oh my God, I opened that box and my whole fucking heart sank, and I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? And how do I prove that it's not my fault? Like, that's because you don't know, like, what if that lady came back and now she's screaming at me?
Yeah,
you know?
what
like,
have you done? Where did you keep this?
Exactly. How did you guys fuck up the cake?
Yep,
you know?
she could have
but
easily
she very
thrown that on
quickly
you.
admitted that she never put it in the fridge from picking it up from the bakery. And all I was thinking is, like, they told you to. Like, they did.
They had to have, right?
They had to have told you to keep it cold. Because this is not a cake that sits out, you know? It's not a carrot cake or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that was an event. But we got through it just fine. We, you know, people bring wine bottles and we open the wine bottles for them. And so every time that I open wine bottle for somebody, I put the cork on the table. Because in the off chance that they don't finish it, they can take it home with them.
Well, it's also, you're supposed to, just in like wine opening standards.
Sure.
It's so that you can prove that you didn't break cork into the wine.
Right. But also, I just put it, this is for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's 5 people drinking a single bottle of wine, I'm still going to put that cork down. I'm not taking it with me, you know?
No, yeah,
I'm going to put it down. So, I wasn't questioning whether I did it right. Calm down.
I paid $600 for this knowledge.
Okay, I forgot. Miss level 1 sommelier over here. I forgot. Anyways, not the point of my story.
Sorry.
So I put the cork down. They don't finish the bottle. It's just the mom and dad and, I don't know, aunt or whatever that are drinking it. It's this table of 5, but only 3 people are drinking it. They don't finish the bottle. So they asked me, hey, can we take this with us? And I was like, yeah. I put the cork on the table. Where is it? And they're like, oh, we think our daughter kicked it on the ground. Like, knocked it off and now it's on the ground. And I went, oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find you another cork. Like, there might be one at the bar or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, let me see what I can do for you. And they're like, okay, well, if nothing else, we can wash it off. And I was like, okay. So I go to the bartender, and Southern Peach is now keeping corks in the bar drawer. Super smart. Thank you so much for doing that. Because I looked at her, I said, hey, do you have any extra corks? She's like, yeah, actually, I've got like 10. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah.
Odd.
So she opens the extra bar drawer that we have,
Yeah.
and there's like 6 or 7 of them in there. And I was like, that's a fantastic idea, though, because this is exactly when I need it. I don't want to have to, you know, stuff saran wrap and whatever else in somebody's fucking
fair.
wine bottle at the end of the night.
Tinfoil and shit. You're just
Right,
like,
yeah, just whatever, a makeshift cork. So I was like, oh, thank you so much. So I bring it to the table, and I was like, here you go, guys. I have a new one. This is not touch the floor. You can have this one. To which the aunt is holding the floor cork, and she goes, oh, that's so nice. She goes, that's so nice. Do you want to take this one back to the bartender?
No, it's been on the floor.
That's exactly what I said to her face. I looked this woman dead in her face, and I said, no, it's been on the floor. And she's like, well, I washed it off.
With
I-
what, bitch? You're
Her water glass. Her water glass.
No. Absolutely not.
And I was like, what's happening? What is happening right now? I don't understand, and I don't like it.
No.
So, yeah.
That's weird, and I don't like it.
Yeah, and, like, does your bartender want this one instead? That's not a fair trade, ma'am.
That's not a trade.
I don't know if you know this, but I brought this one to you because yours wasn't good enough. So why would I want yours in return? No, throw it away.
No.
I rinsed it off. Like, but it was one of those moments where I could not bite my tongue. We're like, I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have said that to her, but it was so obscure and wild of a thing to say that it just left my mouth so quickly. Like, for her to say that to me, I was just like, no, it's been on the floor. And, like, 2 people laughed, but she did not. Like, she did not find that response funny. And I was like, I wasn't trying to be funny. I'm just blown away.
No, that's real. Like,
Yeah, that was just what came out of my mouth. And so then I was like, oh, no, like, we're good. And so I washed it off, and I look around the table, and it's like she has her linen napkin that she's probably been wiping her face with all night. And obviously the cork is wet from, I'm assuming, her water glass. And I'm just like, you keep that.
That she'd been drinking out of.
Right.
So her saliva and
Yeah.
her face oils are all over that cork.
Right.
And
it's
she's just like, do you want this?
I
No,
don't.
bitch.
I don't. Please keep that. Thank you so much. And then they left, and they tipped me. Okay.
Wild.
But it was just one of those, like, I could not keep it contained. Okay. Well, let's wrap it, because I'm going to pee my pants, so I gotta go home.
Okay.
I was like, I have napkins in my car. Like, how badly do I have to go?
Oh my goodness.
I might have to go out here.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
No, but it's still weird. Will you watch for me?
Of course I will.
Okay. Anyways. Are you ready to
All
check out?
saying it.
Are you ready to check out?
Of course I am.
I'm going to
Beach.
pee my pants.
Okay.
Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans.